We're in. Alrighty. I am going to send this out to our friends on Discord. Hello, friends. Stand by with me for just a minute. Just a quick moment. Well, that's not what I wanted. There. And share and copy. I'm sorry, this is really compelling television and radio.
We're live. Hello, kids.
I gotta get on getting this.
I moisturized this morning. I decided it's time to self-care. They say moisturizing your face with sunscreen every day will be anti-aging for your skins.
Supposedly, yeah.
So we're starting.
Even better, moisturizing every day keeps there from being bad bacteria on your skin that can lead to getting like Alzheimer's and other kinds of dementia.
I didn't know that.
Which
That's
is why I
insane.
fucking take a bath in that shit every day.
I didn't know that. I do a little bit. But I don't do like my whole body because then it feels weird in clothes. I don't like that.
You might be using the wrong stuff then.
No, I got like a nice... I Google. I just Google. I'll do like my arms.
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
little cocoa butter or whatever. You know, I just Googled fucking...
Yeah.
Good dude moisturizer.
Yeah,
shit.
I'm hella ashy and I need...
I'm not that ashy, actually.
I
That's
know,
why
I
I've
mean-
never used it, ever.
Yeah.
But then, like, this year, I think maybe because of the cold, maybe stress, my, like, eyebrows got a little ashy.
Mm.
So then I got a little face one, and then I got a little body one. Now I'm fresh. Fresh to death.
Yeah. No, I'm kind of a rashy person just in general, like particularly in the heat.
I feel like really light skin and then really dark skin.
Yeah.
Right? Like, both of those are kind of...
Yeah. And so I started using it on my particularly in the summer, which it seems like an icky lotion time, but it's not.
Yeah.
On my back and my butt. Okay, so like they would get rashy from the heat, covering that with a protective layer. And
Kyle's dumping baby powder on his crotch every morning here.
He does.
Our deadlift baby powder's right on his
he
pee-pee.
does, and it says right on the can,
Don't put on pee-pee?
use it outside.
Oh.
He just stands there in front of the shelf.
But
and
that's
just,
because
like, yoinks it into his crotch.
at least the excess in that case will go in his boxers rather than if you're doing your thighs.
Well, if he's wearing boxers, though, it's going to go right through, and he's going to accumulate around his ankles and his socks.
I haven't seen it spill yet.
I don't know. I'm not looking that closely.
I analyzed. I zoomed in.
Yeah. See where's the remote? There we go.
Our summers are stupid dry.
Yeah, but hot.
Yeah. Oh, very hot.
Hot as hell.
But you know what I mean? Like most people like come here and be like, wow, it is dry.
Yeah.
Where obviously we don't feel that because we live here, but.
And as the summer starts to heat up.
Yesterday was 85. We're moving.
And it seems so like unbearably hot at first. And then later, like a month later, when you're getting 20 degrees more than that.
Yeah, that's
it seems hot, but it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like it's hot in proportion to the first 85-degree day.
I actually thought the opposite yesterday.
Oh, really?
I don't know why. I did a bunch of cardio and I was sweating more, but I got in my car and I didn't think, because normally I'm like that. Normally I'm like, fuck, 85's hot.
Right.
This summer's going to suck.
Yeah.
But yesterday I was like, oh, this was like okay.
Well, you're just in L.A. How hot was it in L.A.?
Same. Even though it rained.
Oh, really?
Rained over the weekend.
Yeah, it rained a little bit here, not enough.
Yeah, it was like raining.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool. I literally have gone to L.A. besides COVID every month almost for 5 years, or at least every other month, and I don't think I've ever had it rain.
Really?
Ever.
I have a number of times.
Yeah.
I thought about going to L.A. this week. because there's a big podcast convention thing and a seminar, business and conference. I don't know, conference, I guess is the best way to put it. And I just decided that I didn't really want to that bad. And like we live in the hype zone around podcasting, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, where everybody tells you that it's going to be more than it is, and it's only more for some people.
Right.
And I just don't really want to be fed that.
Right.
And have my expectations. I know what my expectations are now. I have some idea about how to improve things over time.
Yeah.
I don't need somebody to feed me hype.
Yeah, it's already there. Right? Every kid's trying to be a TikTok. I forgot what stat I heard. I think it was a local college job career guy. I heard this like a month ago. And he's on the radio doing an interview because they were doing like a job career convention thing for local high schools or something. And the stat was something absolutely insane. It was like 60% of high school kids say they want to be an influencer for a living.
Good God.
Or something like that. And it actually popped in my head. I was like, I would be the best to go shit on their dreams. Like in a nice way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the truth is like, we can make up a number that qualifies you for that, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say it's 100K or more on any platform. Mm-hmm. Just for the sake of numbers. 100,000 followers or up, and you're thrown into this career. Now this is your job. Maybe 1% of those people are actually influencers by career.
Yeah.
The rest have to build a business or build something around it, and then you become whatever else. Like today, I was an admin guy. Right now, I'm a content creator.
Right.
Like you're going to have to do more than just that.
Yeah, you have to run a business alongside of it.
1 billion%.
As opposed to being Kim Kardashian and getting paid $1 million whatever.
Yeah, you're not going to be a spokesmodel.
Yeah.
1% of that job is going to be that. And that's even if you already make it to our limit of 100K or whatever number we choose.
Yeah.
If you can even get there.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's great, and you will be better prepared if you like doing business or if you have something in the back of your head you want to do, and this influencer thing is part of that path rather than the end goal.
Yeah. No.
That's how I would shit on their dreams.
Yeah. It's just... I don't want to say people don't want to work hard, but people don't want to work hard. I think that's... I don't want to say it, but I think it's true.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I don't know if they... I don't know if it's that they expect no work to go there or if it's that... it seems like fame and money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I don't think... I wanted to play in the NBA forever, and it's not because I thought it would be easy. It's just because I loved the sport and the money and the culture. You know what I mean? Not because I thought it was the easy route. Clearly going to a professional sport, everyone, since age 10, that it's not easy. As soon as you go play against the best team in your city and you get shit on, you know that there's ratios to this thing.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know this next generation. Because everyone's generation shit on mine for a long time. Like the millennials were the joke. But now the Zoomers, Gen Z's the joke.
Yeah.
I don't know who's fucked up. And the truth is the baby boomers are fucked up because they created me.
Well, and also, like, who created the participation trophy that everyone is blaming the millennials for having received?
But we didn't make it when I was 5.
Yeah, you didn't demand a trophy, as far as I know. I mean,
yeah,
as far as I know.
Yeah, you're not born entitled.
Yeah, wasn't my idea, but it also wasn't your idea.
Yeah,
so.
some culture created that entitlement, or supposed entitlement in millennials.
Yeah,
I don't know. Instead, you could box and make. Do we know the numbers? $1 million?
I don't know what they made. That's a good question.
Probably $1 million. Probably $1 million plus. I need a box.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I called Bart out live.
Oh, did you?
I think I said 100K. I'd knock his ass out. We could probably make that happen. He's like a couple pounds lighter than me right now. So we're same weight class. He's a little bit older.
But he's a harder man than you are.
I don't think so. I
don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
At least, I mean, he was a Marine, for heaven's sakes. Is a Marine.
Yeah, for sure.
Once a Marine, always a Marine, except he's not, like, actively practicing as a...
No, I think I whoop his ass.
Yeah?
I really do. If I get like competitive about something, yeah, it's kind of over. Yeah, you never really met competitive me, you know?
No,
Yeah,
probably not.
Yeah, it's kind of. I just don't care. You met powerlifting Mike, who's just kind of like cruising.
Yeah, well, powerlifting Mike, who just barely didn't really want to compete in powerlifting.
Yeah, not really
even. Okay, so the purse of the Eddie versus Thor fight. Both agreed beforehand that the prize money for the bout would be a donation to charity.
That's cool.
The Beast of the Mountain
that helps a little bit.
Donate $200,000 to charity.
That's a little low.
Choice.
That's got to be a little low.
Well, I mean, literally, there's the sponsors of the broadcast of the webcast.
Rogue, Rain. Rain's fucking monster. They put more than $20K in.
Yeah, Rogue, Rain, and the Beard Company.
One of Eddie's maybe or something?
Maybe.
Something affiliate.
Yeah.
I don't know what Rogue threw down. What was the purse, while we're at it, what was the purse for the Rogue Invitational Strongman? Which I'm not sure either of these competed in, but to give us a gist of what Rogue's throwing around, you know what I mean? Rogue does the Strongman at the Arnold, right? And that's $100K.
Yeah. But I don't know if are they the sole sponsor of that?
I don't know. I have no idea about any of this.
The Rogue Invitational this year is in Austin in October.
Yeah, it was last year too. It actually was a pretty cool event, or it looked cool. I didn't go. Maybe I'll go this year.
No money associated with that in that post.
So well, maybe not, because maybe it's just like a invitational fun thing. I don't know. Point being that like Jake Paul got like millions. I just feel like Thor is such a big name.
Yeah,
that fight could have made. Maybe that's why it was free too. Was it actually free to watch?
It was free to watch.
Yeah, maybe that's part of it all, being a little bit cheaper, the budget version.
Well, but I think though that like if I'm walking into that with no sense at all of who is going to pay for it and how many people are going to pay for it, like I don't think that I don't think it works.
Yeah.
As a
No, you might be right. Yeah, unless did they fill out the card? It was supposed to be some CrossFitters and shit.
Yeah, I didn't see anything else other than that. And then,
I didn't look. So back in the day, or not back in the day, but before I think Eddie got hurt, there was 2 CrossFitters that were supposed to fight. I think Steffi was supposed to be on that card. Like a bunch of stuff like that. So maybe that's why it fell apart and they made it a little more free. Because that, if you combine all their social medias, you get some people to pay for it. Similar to the TikTok versus YouTube fight.
Yeah, I still don't think people are that interested. Like, it's not mainstream enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was Josh Bridges. He's like probably got 1 million followers.
So the total payout on the Rogue Invitational, which was Strongman and CrossFit, was just under 1.5, just under $1.5 million.
And they probably have multiple classes, and
so yeah, the biggest
they have masters.
The biggest purse was $256,000.
That's still pretty good.
$1,000.
And that might have been a Strongman or first CrossFit. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's cool that they donated their money. I just thought that number seemed a little low in my head.
Yeah, well, but here's the thing. The question I've got, Tia Clartumi actually got the same amount, $256,000.
Because, like, I mean, I'm sure Thor's doing fine money-wise.
Yeah.
But it seems like he literally shifted gears in his entire life, and he's a boxer now.
Yeah, and Martine's got $133,000.
That's pretty good.
That's not bad at all.
Right? Because if we're,
$66,000 for Tom Stoltman.
That's more than the world's strongest man and more than Arnold.
Yeah.
I just think that for Thor to shift gears.
Brian Shaw got like a week's worth of food, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. I think Martins is competing in the world's strongest man, which is cool. Like the cards stacked again. But to shift gears how it seems, and obviously this is 100% from the outside, I don't know what Thor's days look like. Yeah. But it looks like he's training like a professional boxer. Yeah. And I know he's had other fights. He's fought like 3 times now. Maybe he made money off those. But because you never make enough money. Right? Like that's just that's the world we live in.
Right.
Right? So even if he's fine, like his lifestyle's now up here and he needs to make money. You know what I mean? So what the fuck is he? And sure he has the sponsors and stuff, but
yeah, I don't know. If they're giving away the purse, what are they getting paid by their sponsors directly to do this?
That's what I'm kind of.
I don't know.
Is there something going on? Yeah, are they getting a bonusy? And did he get a rein, on his crotch of his boxing shorts and get a little bonus? I don't know.
And does it help him and either one of them in any way?
So I think for them, the question we pose is, does it help strongman? Does it help boxing?
I didn't even put that out there.
But I think that's a thing.
That's probably a thing.
And does it help them
individually? And is it some combination of all those things, or is it none of the above?
I would go with D right now. None of the above.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're in fucking Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
You know? Like, if he wanted to do it, he needs to at least get into Fast and Furious 15 or something, right? Like, if he wants to stay on that level. I think, which he probably is and probably will be in more movies or shows that we don't know of. Like, there's just kind of no way with his look that he doesn't, especially now that he's extra jacked. But I don't think it helps boxing. I mean, maybe actually, if it helps any, I think it might help boxing a little bit. Because maybe you think like, all right, I've never really watched boxing, and I only watch because I like Strongman or I only like Thor, and now you're kind of exposed to it a little bit. Similarly, where I think Thor being in Game of Thrones kind of helped Strongman. Did it really help Strongman? But it probably kind of did.
I think that History Channel show,
for sure,
was a lot more help than anything like this is ever going to be.
Because you have to wrap them all in. Or even Omar's show, right? Like, you have to wrap it in to get, like a history buff or a history nerd to kind of understand this part of it or be into it.
Right.
You can't just shove it in people's faces and hope they... But I honestly don't think it helps a lot of people to do these things.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think it
maybe the training, because I think in the originally, like, he fake sparred with McGregor, and like the videos might be cool, right? You see a 6'8" guy, 360 pounds, jacked, jumping rope and moving kind of fast. Like, that might help his Instagram a little bit, but you could easily argue that if he was still smashing strongman,
he could do those same things, and it might even be a bigger deal because he's big enough to compete at a high level in strongman, and he's got cardio that lets him do this other stuff.
Much easier said than done, but you go on a 5-year world's strongest man streak, and you become a thing. You know, like bodybuilding, whatever. Phil Heath winning 5 in a row elevates bodybuilding and Phil Heath just because you're like, oh wow, I don't know much about bodybuilding, but this guy's the best to ever do.
Right.
You know, so I think, and we really haven't had that strongman.
No.
In the modern social media era. Brian's the closest probably. Thor's there, but he's only won one, right?
I think he only won one.
And I think Eddie only won one. I say only, you know, like
actually Thor may have won more than one, but
maybe two.
Eddie won one.
Yeah, I say only, you know, in the scope of the sport. Obviously, it's a huge accomplishment to even get to the world's strongest man.
But 1 or 2 is not 5.
But as an analyst, I'm an analyst here. I'm not speaking as like an athlete or anything, right?
And we're analyzing this more from a cultural and maybe entertainment perspective.
Businessy.
Yeah, and just how does the average person perceive this?
Yeah, because my mom still don't care, and she likes Game of Thrones great.
Yeah,
right. And she doesn't give a flying.
And I mean, does Thor intend to continue to compete in strongman? Is he going to look like he looks now?
I don't think so. I think he's
retired.
Yeah, I think he's kind of over it.
And Eddie is done.
Yeah. They both have documentaries on them, I think, on Netflix. Like, that's a little bit of cash. But again, like, that's like, and they're both like not old. I think they're both younger than me.
Yeah. 33, 34.
Oh, then maybe my age, yeah. You know, like, so, like, I don't know. And not that you have to plan out your next 10 years or an end game. They might just be looking at opportunity and being excited about it, which is fucking rad. I would probably be doing the same. But when you look at, like, the spectrum of it all, like, yeah, Brian competed for, like, 10, 12, 15 years in this thing. You know what I mean? There is something to that as well, legacy-wise, career-wise, social media-wise. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I would do in their shoes either. Because strongman, you're gonna get injured. You're gonna get forced out of the sport.
Eventually, yeah. And you're gonna spend years out of it to trying to get back into it.
Yeah.
Because you're never gonna know when you're done.
We talked about,
although maybe they do, but most competitors don't.
We talked about this in terms of powerlifting, but strongman's the same. Olympic weightlifting's arguably the same. That every other sport in America, someone else is gonna stop you. A college coach is going to tell you you're not good enough. A pro scout's going to tell you you're not good enough. Your high school coach. Eventually, there's going to be a wall that's not your decision.
Bill Walsh is going to tell Joe Montana that he's not good enough anymore.
There's eventually going to be someone else stopping you,
Yeah.
And you can keep training and trying, and sure, there's 1 in a trillion miracle stories that overcome that. Kurt Warner.
Yeah.
He was fucking bagging groceries and all of a sudden got a look. But eventually, it's someone else's decision, where in these sports, you can compete. Powerlifting is kind of a participation trophy. People don't want to talk about that, but you pay $100 and you go to any meet. No one's ever going to tell you no. There's very few
True.
that you have to qualify for.
Yeah, unless there's an invitational. Yeah.
Which is very rare. There's 5 a year now,
Yeah.
which is the most we've ever had.
Right, probably,
and
yeah.
strongman, same thing. There's World's Strongest Man, there's Rogue now, and then there's the Arnold. Every other strongman, it's pay to play. That's a gaming term, nerds.
Yeah.
It's pay to play. You buy it and you're fucking in. You're the
Right.
guy. You're getting the
Right.
participation award. So, and at any level, the lowest, amateur or these pro strongman, your body is the only thing that's going to stop you, right? So at some point, maybe Thor and Eddie are smarter through the little bunny quotes, that maybe they're getting out before they rip everything to shreds.
Uh-huh. Well, that was kind of the focus of the Eddie documentary, was that he was going to get out of it because he couldn't continue to weigh what he was weighing and all that stuff. But he's still pretty big.
No, he's not small. And he passed out with 1,000. He's bleeding out every orifice.
Yeah.
There's other health issues besides just rupturing a bicep in strongman.
Right.
That maybe, I don't know if it's faux pas to talk about or not. I
don't know. Let's shift for a second to the actual quality of the fight. Wasn't bad. But Thor would clearly looked like, an extra-sized boxer, and Eddie looked like a little bit of the character from Street Fighter or something.
You do wonder where the purse money decision comes into role there.
Yeah.
Like, no one wants to get their face bashed in, and that's why I like the UFC and stuff.
But if Eddie didn't want his face bashed in, he should have kept his right up and protected his face. And he was not. He was like, he had his right hanging like he was Chuck Liddell or somebody, and he was only defending with his left.
Was his right arm hurt? Is that the arm he hurt, maybe?
I don't know. I spent the entire fight going, why doesn't he put his right up?
I don't know, but
I'm not a boxing guy, but I can tell you when someone looks asymmetrical and they're not protecting their fucking noggin.
I just wonder in the training, like, sure, there's passion and heart, and you guys can think all these fucking things out of a Disney movie, but a lot of people are motivated by money, especially in a situation like this. So if Eddie knows there's $1 million on the line, does his training look different? Do his coaches look different leading up to this?
Probably,
to lead to a different result? I don't know. Because it does seem, Thor took it stupid serious. Because I think we talked about it previously, just quick mention, and I was going to put my money on Eddie, not seeing any video. Just because I knew Eddie, or I've heard Eddie was a higher level athlete in general. I think he was Junior Olympics, creeping into the Olympics for swimming, and I was like, well, that's pretty fucking high. Where obviously Thor's a good athlete too, but like he played very mediocre basketball. Like an Icelandic B League or something, where like little Mikey's probably going to be a star over there. I don't know the quality of basketball, but you go to Italy or you play in Germany, I'm like, all right, you're balling. Like you got to be good. Like some of the best guys I played against ended up A leagues over there. And obviously they're good athletes, but and that that's going to piss off all these wannabe strongman fans that are probably listening, but that's just the case. Like the exposure pool to strongman is nowhere near swimming or basketball, right? So the elite talent's just not the same.
Yeah.
And someone argued that too. Was it Candido? I don't know. It was an Instagram story that if Shaq, youngest Shaq, got a little saucy, could he win World's Strongest Man? And some people were saying no, and I'm like, I think you're fucking insane. Like, if you see Shaq move around when he's like 280 and like at LSU or early years on the Magic, like, it's some of the craziest shit I've ever seen. Or even LeBron James.
He did exhibition fights.
Shaq?
Yeah,
I'm sure. I'm sure
he did.
For Shaq, and who knows, I'm obviously biased because I am a fan, but like I think he likes to have a good time. Like I think he likes to do some shit.
I think like as competitive as he is, I think that he did do it unironically. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek kind of, let's have some fun with this and make some money or raise some money or whatever.
100%.
I think that. I think a thing about exhibition fights, the guys who really don't have the fighting background going into them, part of it is this whole, I get to live this experience of been pointed out to me that the week leading up to it, there's a lot of trash talking back and forth because you would often see that. But
I think
is that good for strongman? Is it good for the guys?
I think this started with that, and whether it was scripted or not, I don't know.
I feel like it was scripted, but
yeah,
I don't know.
in the beginning, in the very beginning, I feel like it was 3-4 years ago now.
Yeah,
it felt unscripted.
It's 2017.
Yeah, it felt like there was some hate in there, which I think, as a fan and for the sports, it's actually good. As a moral human that I like to claim myself to be, it's probably not great because it's, we're grown men. It's a little immature. What are you doing? But like the same thing just happened, I think, with was it Usman and Covington? I think they caught each other at like a casino or something, and they started talking real mess.
Yeah.
No cameras, no nothing.
Right. For
UFC, that's really good. It really is. And for the sport, like as a fan, it excites me a little bit. Like I don't think it's cool to be shoving each other in public when you're grown men with no cameras on. But I want to watch that fight a little bit more now.
Yeah, it does increase the interest in the fight. I just don't think that doing performative stuff actually does, because people just don't necessarily believe it. I know Eddie spit in Thor's face last week. That's like...
Yeah. See, I don't know the scripted level that I'm letting someone spit in my face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That makes me think it's unscripted too. Like that's as bad as I still, there's been 2 people that spit in my face, and I still remember. And one, I was like 12. I wanted to kill him.
I bet.
You know what I mean?
Still do.
Yo, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's not, I don't know. Unless I'm in a movie.
Yeah.
You're not doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's interesting. I didn't know that. That makes me feel.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. I talked to Kale Beck, who
our strongman on the ground. Kale Beck's on location.
I know he was at a kid's party.
Yeah, I was at a concert. That's why I didn't watch. I just saw highlights.
I watched the whole thing, and I really thought that there was a question about whether or not the stream was going to hold up.
Oh,
because it was terrible at the beginning, and the mics were open, so the announcers and like people who were stage managing and all that kind of stuff, you could hear them talking, and it was all these British accents making jokes at each other and stuff.
That's kind of funny.
That was funny, but it was not like, this is really super professional. Boy, I'm glad I'm not paying for this.
Right? Yeah. If I paid $79.99,
and then the commercials started running every like 2 minutes, and the commercials were streaming perfectly, which tells you it was something about the location, truck.
Equipment or internet or.
And finally, I mean, I think it went out once, maybe in the course of the fight.
Yeah.
I'm just remembering wishing that it could just get over. Cause
it went all rounds, eh?
Yeah, it went all 5 rounds.
I don't know. When this first came up, it was when the Logan Paul, Jake Paul boxing was still coming up, and that was hot shit.
Yeah.
But even that sizzled down because fighting is different than other sports where you can't do it every weekend. So even though Jake Paul may go fight another big name, and it probably will get legitimate because it's a lot of top guys, and again, I'm not a fight expert by any means either, but like the Rogans and like the real analysts have said Jake Paul's kind of a menace, like he's a real fighter now, that you should kind of tip your hat to him. So in that essence, I think that this could elevate combat sports and whatever, but I watched the TikTok versus YouTube one, and it was janky. Some of those guys just aren't athletes. They didn't train, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think this trend spreads. I think the trend could last, but I don't think the trend spreads. You know, where like jiu-jitsu we've talked about, all these powerlifters are hopping in jiu-jitsu, blah, blah, blah. That's like a trend that I think is spreading and will probably continue. But this one seems very linear, and it kind of seems like you're Jake Paul, or it's probably not going to explode.
Well, a comment I've heard more than once about Jake Paul is that Jake Paul might be a fairly legitimate boxer, but he's never going to do legitimate boxing. He's only ever going to do exhibitions because he would have to work his way into contention, and he's not going to want to do that. And he's not going to make the kind of money that he can make doing an exhibition.
Yeah, for sure. And same with UFC stuff. He was talking shit to Dana White and this and that, and I actually like that. That gave me a little bit of respect for him. I don't know if you heard that. He basically called Dana White and he said, I will fight in the UFC and do whatever, but he laid down certain rules that Dana White would have to pay all fighters a certain minimum, etc., which I respected. Not that I hate Dana White or whatever, but there's knowing a lot of people that fight in the UFC personally, friends, I know the business a little bit, and it is much different than boxing.
Yeah.
And Dana White is the promoter, and that's where and we talked to Uriah a little bit about it when he was on our show. But it's a different business model. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit more monopolized, right? And so it makes sense why the UFC makes more money than maybe a boxing association, but it doesn't always feel right for some of these fighters to really put their life on the line. And in the life of a fighter in the UFC, regardless of wins and losses, the physicality, the dangers, and even like the trending persona of a fighter is very short.
Right.
Is very short. And it seems like every sport's actually, it's shrinking. You know? But like the LeBron James guys, there's very few of those cats. You know? Yeah. There's going to be 1 in a billion that can just last forever, but NFL's always kind of been that way, especially at like a running back or, you know, someone who's bashing their head all day. Their careers are very short. Baseball, you can still get it going depending on your position, golf, et cetera, et cetera. But, yeah, just seeing the trends in the UFC, who's the star, is changing yearly.
Yeah, interesting talking about
even powerlifting.
Yeah.
Powerlifting, it seems like the next big name, because the pool is getting a little bit bigger and whatever, like the next big names, you know, disappearing here and there.
When Steffi was the biggest thing in women's powerlifting a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And she quit.
Yeah.
She
quit
went to something else. For injury reasons and whatever, and she went to boxing, which you would think that would be more dangerous, but apparently not.
It all just depends, right? Like what's hurting, what's not hurting, what you want to put your body through.
Yeah. I'm not going to comment too much, other than I just have questions about how that business is going to play out now, considering the breakup at the top levels of hybrid.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't either.
Yeah,
it's just everybody's got the same questions. Like
beyond my knowledge.
Yeah, same. Like when we left where we used to be, people had no idea what the structure was there, how things were going to go on.
Yeah.
People, you don't know.
Yeah,
you don't even know.
Yeah, I used to get a lot of comments. The people thought I was part of Arbor Brigade. People thought I owned part of Slingshot. Yeah, I own neither.
Yeah, same. Careers. Buster Posey retired. And
baseball's a weird one.
Yeah.
Because, like, his risk of playing longer, it's not like he's going to lose his mind, right? Where, like, if you're a running back, you're like, all right, man, I'm scared for my CTE stuff.
Concussions are a thing in baseball.
Yeah,
sure.
But
especially if you're a catcher.
There's no way the level of CTE in baseball is even in the same graph as NFL.
No, it's definitely not. But, like,
I got a concussion in basketball, too, but I don't have CTE.
Yeah, I mean, a catcher a few years ago who became a manager had so many concussions in a short period of time as a catcher that he had to retire because he couldn't think straight.
It just happened in March Madness too. This dude had like 4 in 2 years, and they had to pull him out the game. Yeah. He got a shoulder and fucking lost it. Kyle something, I think. I forgot what team.
But I think that.
But NFL, like the micro trauma of boxing or NFL is next level.
But I think with Buster, the issue was being in the squat for as many years as he was, and realizing that, like, he's already made a lot of money. Yeah, and if you want to stay in the game at some point as a catcher, you're going to end up having to change positions, and nobody wants to do that. And like, instead,
why not?
Yeah,
I think I would do it. Like basketball, you don't really have that option.
Yeah.
You can't just say, like, oh, I'm going to be a center now. I'm going to be 7 foot tall.
Yeah. Well,
but playing outfield in baseball, it's like going to the retirement home. I'm going to go kick it in left field.
A little bit. I don't know, but it comes down to a thing that we've been talking about on this show from pretty much the beginning, and that the whole athlete identity.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Like, you know, if you identify as an athlete.
But what if you're a badass outfielder?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
He was a shortstop and a pitcher before he was a catcher. So.
Yeah. I don't know. And obviously I never played baseball, so I can't relate to, like, that attachment to a position. I was pretty attached to my basketball position, but that was by my skill set. Where, like, in baseball,
And your height probably a little too.
Yeah, for sure. In baseball, it seems like obviously there's certain builds for positions-ish, right? Like the lefty playing first base and all that's great and dandy. But and I don't know enough about baseball, so you can correct me or all you people out there can get mad. But I feel like hopping from catcher to outfield is like a step back in skill-wise. Like most catchers could probably, depending on their fitness, hop an outfield and be just fine.
Well, here's the thing. You got to be able to run the outfield.
Yeah. But I feel like if you're in that squat and like athletic as catchers are throwing off their knees and all, like chances are you can move a little bit.
Yeah, most catchers are no threat at base stealing. Most of them are not.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wonder why that is.
They're not quick because they spend
now
all
I'm
the
insulted.
time in the squat.
Because people say I would be a catcher, but I'm fucking fast.
But okay, but you got a big dumper. Every catcher's got a big dumper.
Yeah, they're squatty.
Yeah.
Mason, Kyle's cousin who helped us build the gym a little bit was just a catcher I know. I know they're like built a little different.
He's a tall catcher.
Yeah. He's probably 6'1".
Yeah.
I don't know. What's Posey? 6?
Yeah. 6.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know any other sport either, like, because the skill set's so different in other sports, you know? Like, you're not going to go quarterback and all of a sudden play linebacker or vice versa. Like, that's just not going to happen. Maybe high school to college or something, but not in the pros, not within the same league. And in basketball, you just change how you play the older you get. Like, all right, I'm not gonna dunk on guys. I'm gonna sit in the corner and shoot a little bit more. You know what I mean? You adjust that way, and that is a thing. We call it old man game. You're just a little bit sneakier with it. Yeah. Like if I was to go play right now, there's no way I'm flying around like I used to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Barry Bonds toward the end of his career, he could hit like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
But he wasn't running around the outfield that much. He was just not.
Baseball is kind of funny because there's like certain guys that just stand out that were absolute fucking freaks. Like Ken Griffey Jr. is a freak.
Yeah.
Like that dude's in dunk contests and he's doing things NBA guys are doing.
Yeah.
Where like you grab the average outfield and you're like, man, probably not happening.
So this is kind of brings it back around again to the strongman discussion. Are we supposed to feel like someone who excels at a sport like strongman can excel at some other sport at this point? And I think the answer is no.
I think if we're comparing it to weightlifting and powerlifting, yes. If we're comparing it to athletes on the planet, no.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and everyone says like whatever you want, and sure, we can pull outliers like Russ, or he played D1 football. Like, yeah, he's a fucking athlete, but the average powerlifter that's at the top,
right,
ain't moving like Russ, right? No. You know what I mean? Or Kevin Oak, I think it was a Villanova D1 sprinter. But even that, you know, and we've talked about athleticism on other shows or Topic Thunder or what it means, what it is. And by definition, even to me, not that sprinters aren't athletes. Clearly they are. But just because you're a very good sprinter doesn't mean you're the best athlete. Because we're not talking about lateral movement, coordination, skill, blah, blah, blah.
VO2 max,
right,
and your muscle fiber type.
You're running in a straight line.
Yeah.
Right.
Running in a straight line.
Which is much different than a soccer, basketball.
You're cutting.
Football. Reaction time. Et cetera, et cetera. And obviously I am biased still, but I think there are slight surveys. I don't know about study done, but like the translation of basketball players and football players to other sports tends to be very fucking high. Very, very high coordinated basketball players tend to be very good at golf, whether they golf or not, just because the hand-eye that's going to be there. Tennis is probably a good example too, the lateral movement with the hand-eye, with the power, with the et cetera, et cetera. But is strongman the definition of that? In the amateur level, real bad. Just being at some local-ish meets myself and seeing the specimens of sorts that compete there, probably not. Probably not it. So no. My answer is no. But yeah, I mean, even with like the Steffi thing, right? Like I think Steffi was like a D1 soccer player. Right. Like she's clearly a good athlete. Right. On many levels. She seems like she's having some success in boxing. Obviously had tons of success in powerlifting, but
are her fights exhibitions only, or
I don't know. I think she's straight fighting. I think.
Really?
Yeah, I think she's straight fighting. I might be wrong, but I think she's had 2 or 3 now, and I think 1 or 2 are straight fights. I don't know. I've thought about boxing. Talking to shout out my boy Nick. His name used to be Nick the Ear. He's a jiu-jitsu guy, so he's all fucked up. But But he doesn't fight as much anymore.
And he got his ear fixed. So
no, his ears are fucked.
Okay.
But we changed his name just because it's not nice. So now we call him Nick the Lover, just because. Nick said I'd be good at boxing.
Okay.
By like stature. And he said I'd have a chance in jiu-jitsu too. And I'm like, I don't know. Jiu-jitsu, he said.
I don't want nobody hit me in the face.
Yeah, not now. Maybe when I was a little angrier. He said jiu-jitsu, which I didn't really think because I don't know anything about it. He said there's not like a body type.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said there's some tall, lanky guys that whoop ass. He said there's some short, stocky guys that whoop ass. He said that it's very variable, and I was like, that's interesting. Because powerlifting, we could draw. You could do math and do the perfect levers.
Yeah.
For each lift, like literal math.
Yeah.
Basketball.
Yeah, you would look like Joe Sullivan.
He's pretty close. Russ is pretty close. Probably Russ. I'd probably choose Russ, right? Pretty short torso. His arms are a hair long. That's the only struggle, right, with powerlifting is the deadlift and bench.
Yeah.
But
you want long arms for deadlifts and short arms for bench.
And the perfect guy, you'd have really long forearms, so it would help your deadlift, and really short biceps, because then it would still help your bench. Short ass torso, short femurs.
Short femurs, yeah.
Like that's the perfect one. And Russ kind of is built like that. Basketball, obviously, you can start to draw up some shit and get close. Baseball, I'm sure, very similar. Soccer, you can kind of drop the prototypes. But he said, jiu-jitsu, there's not really one, which I found interesting.
Well, both of these, back to the fight, both of these guys are just gigantic targets.
Well, and they're very different, which is actually interesting.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't Eddie only like 6'1", 6'2"? I only met him once. I met him both at different times. Thor's obviously 6'8" or something
like
crazy.
6'9"-ish. Yeah, he's very, very tall. Eddie might be 6'1", but
yeah, I think he's pretty short, like relative to Strongman.
Yeah,
and relative to Thor.
Yeah.
Oh, that's decent. Still pretty short.
Eddie is 6'3".
Yeah.
Okay. So it's still, but they're just giant targets out there. Like
they're skinny.
Yeah, they're not really. They're not made for that kind of combat sport.
Yeah.
Because they're giant targets. So just like you might want to be a jockey, but if you're 6 feet tall, you're too tall to be a jockey.
Is there an upper limit in boxing? I don't know shit about boxing. My uncle, that's the only professional athlete in my entire family was boxing, and I don't know shit about it.
I don't think that there is a limit, but there is a limit from a practical standpoint.
Because there's a limit in the UFC.
Yeah.
You can't be heavy.
Yeah. Out of the weight class.
I think it's 275.
They call this Titan class.
Oh, so it's made up.
Yeah,
exactly. Fake. So maybe there is an upper limit.
Yeah, there probably is.
Because in super heavies or heavyweights in the UFC, I think you have to be under 275 or 265. Like Brock Lesnar had to cut like crazy. And I guess boxing has a billion federations like powerlifting, so maybe it's dependent. But I imagine because even like Muhammad Ali was like 250. You know, and he's heavyweight big dog of the world.
Yeah, heavyweight has no upper limit.
Oh, interesting. I mean, hypothetically, I don't think there's a limit either, right? Like, you look at like a LeBron James or something like that, who's so explosive and quick, but he's still like 280, you know? But that's 1 in a trillion.
I still haven't heard back from Kale, but about clearing his comments. So I'm just going to say the least controversial thing that he said to me was that in answering the question, he thought that it was at least a small net positive for strongmen in general.
Yeah, I don't think it's a negative per se, especially since Thor, at least the highlights I saw, he did look pretty athletic.
Yeah.
I think that's always a positive. He looked good physically, like he's jacked. I don't think it would ever hurt, but it's definitely not a huge win,
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know if that's what either of them care about either, right? Maybe some people care about spreading their sport, and like Kale's obviously the ambassador of strongman, has been for decades.
Yeah.
Some people care about growing the sport, and others don't.
Yeah.
Which is fine too.
Yeah.
I guess now that I know they didn't get paid, I don't know their motivation.
I don't either, because especially the amount of time that I mean, because it delayed because of pandemic and
Thor
Eddie's
seemed to
injury
train through it all. So he's like trained like a boxer for 3 years.
Yeah,
I think he did one other fight randomly, right? And then that was that.
Yeah,
it seems kind of crazy.
I don't know.
I just not, and I guess I don't know. Realistically, you could point to me saying the same thing, like, you bench squat deadlifted for 12 years and don't compete in anything. What are you doing? Like, yeah, you ain't wrong.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, I enjoy it. Generally.
Train like a, that's,
generally speaking, it's for my health.
Yeah.
So maybe Thor enjoys it and it's for his health and he doesn't care about the 200K. I don't know. I got nothing.
Maybe not. And maybe he'll be in the next Fast and Furious movie or something.
I mean, that is it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, find a sport that helps you look good, and then advance your career there. It makes sense.
I think a question that we have that we don't have an answer to is whether he can actually act or if he's just big.
There's been other strongmen in movies. Well, what's the guy's name? He's in the new Mad Max. He's in a bunch of movies, though. He's a strongman or ex-strongman.
Yeah.
And if you're in a movie like Mad Max, you will say nothing.
That I've been reading and listening to podcasts around that movie lately.
It was
really
the new
one?
Tom Hardy?
Yeah.
I liked it in theaters. I'm not going to rewatch it, but in theaters, you get the music going and shit. It was a little adventure.
They often didn't know why they were doing what they were doing. They were just told, do this thing.
The actors?
And we're shooting it, yes.
Oh.
The movie was kind of largely constructed in editing.
Well, I mean, like, spoiler alert, like, there's nothing to the movie. It's a U-turn car chase. They get somewhere, and then they turn around
and go back. Yeah.
Like, there's nothing, but...
Yeah.
If you got a nice, TV and speaker system, it's kind of dope.
Yeah. The other thing that Kale said is probably not too controversial is that Eddie hasn't really lifted weights for a year.
Yeah, I mean, boxing's still one, maybe because I just don't know a ton about it, where it doesn't seem strength and conditioning is huge.
Yeah.
You
would think conditioning would need to be.
I guess conditioning on its own, sure. But it still seems old school. They're still jumping rope and jogging only.
Yeah.
Where UFC, the demands physically are very similar.
Yeah.
And a lot of every top guy's lifting weights now.
Yeah.
Every top dude's hunting down the best strength conditioning they can because they realize the advantage. And maybe the boxing guys are, and I'm just not aware. But I would imagine that we would have a friend training some of them, and I can't think of the one.
Probably so. Before we wrap this one up, are you wrapping this one up? I'm slurring my words like I'm from California. Are you caught up on Winning Time?
No, I didn't watch it yet. I need to. I'm still caught because night times are the only time I really watch TV, and I still just put on bullshit, And so, like, I want to watch that when I'm thinking. I want to watch it. Yeah, I want to actually watch it, so I haven't watched it yet.
I don't know where it's going. It's fun. I'm enjoying it. I know that there are a number of things that are not in alignment with what actually happened.
Yeah,
but
there's not a lot of like TV. I feel like that's busting right now. Like Euphoria was banging. Everyone's on it. Like there's not a lot going on, so it's still definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, we got Doctor Strange coming soon.
March probably.
Yeah.
Are we in March?
We're in March.
Oh, then it's not March. It's April. I think Doctor Strange is April.
There's a bunch of stuff coming.
Yeah,
really soon.
Is it a Thor or Guardians of the Galaxy after that? Something like that creeping in.
Guardians.
Am I way off?
Guardians is next year, I think.
Stranger Things is starting to leak out.
Stranger Things.
I am a Stranger Things fan, even though obviously season 1 shits on all the others. I still like it.
Because the mystery was deep.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, and the other ones turned more into like an action sci-fi, and the first one was a sci-fi mystery. I think you're right. That's probably what hooked everybody.
Another thing too is that in a lot of Netflix series, there is a middle episode that's just connective tissue that isn't important at all. And if you're not just like binging the whole thing.
That's their benefit, though, right? Is they normally drop them all together,
right?
Where other companies don't do that still.
Yeah, there's a whole like media philosophy around that too. Because if you drop everything at once, you have hype for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
and then it's gone.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because even Euphoria, which is what HBO Max.
Yeah, it was week to week.
Yeah, I don't like. Yeah, as a consumer, I do like the binger. Because at least I want to do 2 a day or something, you know. But obviously as a business person, it makes more sense to get longer subscriptions.
Yeah,
for sure.
Let me see if we got anything from anybody here.
What we got is 3sb.co.
Ashley, go for it.
Me?
Oh, Lord.
Them?
Yes, you go.
3sb.co, brand new drop. It is live right now, this week, for you. Americana drop, inspired by some American traditional tattoo art, mixed in with our own, as many of you know. And if you don't know, Good Company is the apparel brand of Third Street Barbell and Jim and I. And what we like to do, creatively, is reimagine our logo, our company, our brand, in different pockets, genres, or as a different company itself. And so this one kind of throws you into that Americana vibe, and I think you guys will really enjoy it. So 3sb.co, we got some hoodies, super comfy, a lot of good feedback on those. My favorite t-shirt, which I'm wearing right now, I literally haven't taken it off, and then some lounge knock around sweat shorts, super comfy. If you want to rock those, check it out, 3sb.co.
I'm going to hit the comments real quick here. Poorly marketed.
Oh, the fight?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I kind of agree on that. A lot of random millionaire paychecks floating around in Dubai. Crazy they couldn't find a way to promote it.
Yeah, I would
they
probably
should have gone
agree.
with Rogan or something, which is kind of true.
Oh, my. Imagine. He would have probably done it.
Yeah.
Like, he loves fighting. I think he's a fan of Thor.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been actually epic.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been more likely to watch it, actually. Because he does get so excited. You can say whatever you want and like Rogan, don't like Rogan. I really don't care. But as an announcer, he loves what he does.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
no,
he's fucking passionate.
I got nothing against how he announces.
Even compared to, like, some of the NFL cats, certain guys are just passionate. Like, they see a big dunk or a big touchdown, they get excited, and you can feel that. That's Rogan, which I think, not that he made the UFC, but he is a big fucking piece of that puzzle. Yeah. He would have been good for this. That's a great suggestion.
Yeah, didn't move the needle at all. If it gets more eyes, then it probably does help. But is it the kind of help that most fans of Strongman want? Probably not.
No.
I think it helps them. Game of Thrones ended a long time ago. That's true.
True. And Strongman is just around the corner. World's Strongest Man.
Yeah, Conor fought Floyd, but no boxing fans crossed over. Same with YouTube. Jake's fans are not boxing fans. That's a fair point.
Maybe, but how do we know that?
We don't know that, but, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think boxing fans tuned into that.
Yeah.
And maybe we're more into the UFC. Yeah, I don't know if you can quantify that. Strongman and powerlifting and shit, we can just quantify, like, because it's so small. You can quantify based on, did World's Strongest Man money go up? Yeah. Did the very few, there's one event a year. Did the views go up? Did Instagram go up?
Right.
Did YouTube go up?
Right.
And, like, clearly it has over the years because of stuff. I don't know if you can, boxing runs deep. They're 20% of boxing fans are so old they don't have Instagram. You know what I mean?
That's probably true.
Yeah.
That's probably true.
Like it's hard to quantify that as much.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it made or break those sports, but I think there might be more crossover. I don't know.
Eddie trained himself.
No.
That's what it says.
You and I talked about
See
that.
how he pushed his coach. He has no respect for his coach.
Oh. So didn't literally train himself.
Well, I don't know.
We had a coach. So.
Yeah, and then the other was like Eddie kept his. I think Eddie kept his right down so he could use it for a big right overhand.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
In theory, this isn't a video game.
But I think that the issue is that, like, that was his only real shot.
Again, I'm not a fighter by any means, but biomechanically, doing like the shoo woo 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 woo, it doesn't work.
There's big no wind up.
Yeah, there's no leverage
big
in
haymaker.
That. It's from his hips anyway, so like shooting from a blocked position probably would be just as much power.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that point.
Yeah, the fucking Irish trunk right hook, ain't it?
Yeah. All right.
Thanks for the comments, fan. We will join Discord, 50percentfacts.com. Join the Discord, answer questions once a week for a chance to win prizes. So if you haven't used Discord, it's very similar to maybe like a Slack or a WhatsApp, but more functional in my opinion. There's a lot of options for community building. We'll be doing giveaways there, exclusives for the company, for the podcast itself. And we have a tab on the left that's called the one question or the one good question. Leave any question you want there. If you are chosen, we're going to answer it in a Friday episode every single week, and you'll get a gift from us, Jim and I, 3SB, and the crew. So join that. Check it out. We're talking lifting. We're talking clothes, talking trash in there. So I hope to see you guys there. I'm selling Mike everywhere you want to find me.
Well, I screwed up and put it in the wrong thing, but hey, there we go.
The what thing? And where?
I put the link, the live link in the wrong Discord. Yeah, I put it in our personal one, which is not helpful at all.
No one clicked on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Kyle out there.
Sorry, guys. I swear to God, by the time we do this again, we're gonna set up so that it'll just automatically go.
Kyle can do that.
I'm at the Jim McDonald on social media. This show 50% facts, like Mike said. We're percentage just a word, and 50 is just numbers, and we'll talk to you on Friday with a question from our Discord.